The Ruto regime is in a downfall, in a teremuka. It is being swept away by the flood. But Ruto is trying to look on what he can clinch on. Atashika nini. So there is a direct message that Kipruto Arab Kirwa is sending that I would like us to listen to this message because it's going to form the basis of our topic.
My worry about the Mount Kenya bloc is that the regime of the day is trying to look for a way of isolating them.
Yeah.
You remember in the year 2007, there was what people are calling 411. 411 in the communication industry was information that reaches you so fast. But it was coined in a way that 41 tribes against one.
Yeah.
And the same thing is coming to town. The way I see, and I've said it before, this regime is trying to look for reincarnation of 2007 issues of the bloc, the ODM bloc. And I've said it is not past us that William Ruto might dissolve UDA and move to ODM for purposes of inheriting Raila's constituency.
In
As to that,
2022, Kipruto Arab Kirwa had a message for Kenyans, and he said that the Ruto regime is not going to be that much different from Uhuru regime, and he warned Kenyans about Ruto regime. Let's read this.
It is impossible to say that we shall be different from Uhuru Kenyatta. Wait for the next 2 years. There will be so many shuttle moves that even the judiciary itself may feel very uncomfortable with this regime. And this was the message from Kipruto Arab Kirwa.
I'm live from Mombasa, and I hope you're doing fine. Thanks for those who are always here to support the channel. Thanks for those people who are here for the first time. Thanks for subscribing, and our channel is growing. It is Gen Z TV, and this is the crux of Kenyan politics. Ruto is trying to consolidate the backyard of Raila Amolo Odinga, and is kind of trying to form the 2007, the one tribe against the other tribes of Kenya, the 2007 formation. But there is a very big problem that Ruto must see on how he's going to tackle it, because the Kenyans that we have in the current generation is different from 2007 generation. And with the uprising of the GNZs, where it was tribeless, it was never based, it was leaderless, and it was mainly based on what were affecting Kenyans, may impede this kind of flow that Ruto is trying to create. I would want you to hear this very, very keenly. I was in my late primary school in 2007, but the election of 2007, it was of a great concern to so many people from in my home area. We woke up at 3 and everyone was just awake. Ruto is trying to consolidate the backyard of Raila. But with the rise of GNZs who may not vote in terms of the tribal issues or following the tribal kingpins, the only problem may only arise if only those who are against Ruto start attacking Raila. Because the reality that we must agree on is that Raila has die-hard fans. He has organic followers. And if it happens that Raila is not going to be on ballot in 2007, we may rule that out. The highest probability is that Raila is not going to be on ballot. But if Raila is not going to be on a ballot, the focus should be on how to deal with Ruto rather than to deal with Raila. Because the person who is going to compete with Ruto should fight so that he can win the votes of those who support Raila. But if his supporters are going in one way or another to start attacking Raila, it may be seen as if with most of the Raila supporters or most of Raila followers, and the undecided one, that this is a fight against Raila. So let's see how Ruto is currently trying to go to Raila's backyard, trying to win the citizens.
My worry about the Mount Kenya bloc is that the regime of the day is trying to look for a way of isolating them.
Yeah.
You remember in the year 2007, there was what people are calling 411. 411 in the communication industry was information that reaches you so fast. But it was coined in a way that 41 tribes against one.
Yeah.
And the same thing is coming to town. The way I see, and I've said it before, this regime is trying to look for reincarnation of 2007 issues of the bloc, the ODM bloc. And I've said it is not past us that William Ruto might dissolve UDA and move to ODM for purposes of inheriting Raila's constituency. As to that will work is a matter of time, because I know William Ruto will do anything that can guarantee him success. That's why he has never failed in any political game. So if I was to advise the Mount Kenya bloc, is even the Honorable Gachagua, is for him to think and realize that this is fait accompli. Fait accompli in the sense that whatever he does, he cannot be a deputy president in the intervening period. What he needs to do is to say, what can I do to be relevant politically in the year 2007 and beyond? That, in my opinion, would be actually a more useful engagement. But raising and thinking that litigation will solve a political problem, because you see, the issue of impeachment had nothing to do with the law. It had everything to do with politics. And I remember I worked with Ruto for 2 years in the run-up to 2022 election. And the very reason why I left him is because he chose a candidate that I felt their character, when it comes to industrial psychology, is the same. When you deal with two individuals, even many homes, including yours, Alan, and Mheshimiwa's, they survive because one of the partners must be willing to cede for purposes of harmony within the home. And even in terms of presidency, or in terms of governor and deputy governor, one of them must be able to tolerate. That's why of the 10 vice presidents we had in Kenya, only 3 survived smoothly or effortlessly. Those are the ones who worked under Kibaki. And when I say that, Mheshimiwa may not be happy about Kibaki. Remember, the late Wamalwa passed on in August. We got Mudi Awori and subsequently Kalonzo Musyoka. And the 3 of them worked seamlessly with their boss. But starting with Jaramogi all the way to Saitoti, they never had easy time because their boss was a bit reluctant to want to deal with a vice president who looks ambitious. So my take is that if I was to give advice, and who am I to give advice to a whole region, is that let us spend more time thinking about the dispensation beyond 2027.
Okay, I mean, just before I move to Masara, you've brought in a name that, of course, is being talked about right here when you're looking at these moves that are being made by the Mount Kenya region. There's a headline here on the Standard, and it states, Kalonzo in talks with Gachagua in a bid to build strong coalition. You've been in government long enough, and just trying to look at the impact that somebody who's served under Ruto for give or take about 2 years, the intel that it might have, the financial muscle that he possesses, and now the possibility that is in talks with Kalonzo Musyoka, who's very much eyeing that seat in 2027 and staying alive to the fact of what Masara mentioned, that you cannot predict what's going to happen. Is that conversation of a likely possibility of a one-term president coming in light?
I also want to concur with him that politics, 3 years is a long period, and anything can happen. That we may find that there's another Trump in town. Who knew that Trump will win against the Democrats? But he came back, being the 45th president and the 47th president. I would be reluctant to want to write off William Ruto as a political player. But I would want us to spend more time not thinking about Kalonzo and Rigathi in isolation. I would want a system that moves and morphs into something strong. Charity Ngilu, Wamalwa Kijana, and Mwai Kibaki, in the formation of NAK, it took a bit of time and effort for individuals to discuss and also think of the 3 of them working together, given the fact that 5 years earlier, they were competing for the same position. So for me, it would be, who are the other people? Apart from Rigathi and Kalonzo, who are the other people? How can we complete this map of Kenya that gives alternative to ODM, UDA coalition? Because I can see whether Raila wins at the AU or does not win, I can see the 2 of them are likely to work together in 2027. Or Raila may come back as a monster that will remove Ruto out of power. All these are possibilities. That we cannot just rule out.
Masara, I want you to answer to that, because Kalonzo has been angling towards this conversation on the fact that Azimio is over and done with. There needs to be a conversation towards creating a new coalition. This will very much distort your partnership as ODM as one of the strongest party in that coalition. What do you have to say about that?
Alan, can I tell you something?
Yeah.
That's my role.
Yes.
Take. Kalonzo missed the opportunity.
Okay.
Kalonzo will have seized the Gen Z's generation and run away with it. He refused to take it. He went home. You know what he was doing at home.
Yeah.
Now, creating a wave that can sweep William Ruto from State House cannot be done by Gachagua and Kalonzo Musyoka. Based on the history of this country, that one I can tell you for free. That does not need prediction and what.
Yes.
Remember what happened in 2002. Who knew Raila can work with Kibaki? Remember what happened in 2013. Who knew that Uhuru Kenyatta can work with William Ruto?
Yeah.
Yeah? So, we will start talking about what's going to happen in 2027 by around 2026.
Yes.
Not now. This marriage will fall along the way. What's the common denominator?
Yeah.
They are crying babies. Gachagua has been removed. Kalonzo has been denied opportunity. He feels betrayed by Raila by not joining them to do what they are supposed to do.